Hi everyone, welcome back to Chop's Garage. I'm in one of those days today. So firstly, decided last night to take the S2000 home because it's been sat for a long time. So I took it home for a blast last night. Let's say sunshine was out, lovely drive home. Didn't push it too hard because it's got some cheap tyres on the back which I want to swap out. And I hear lots of scary rumours about S2000s. So hopped in it this morning, decided to go to the gym, realised it had no fuel in it. Went to the petrol station like a proper prat on my phone for about 10 minutes trying to work out where the fuel cap release is. Promptly then went to the gym and made myself look like a prat because I was doing squats and went too far forward, about 175 kilogram, went over, hit the back of my head and it fell on the floor, made a big racket, looked like a prat there. Meanwhile, just as I'm putting that back together again, I get a call from BCA to say they're going to be here in about 10 minutes. There's a note on my account. Every time I place a delivery order, it says ring me 1 hour before to make sure that I'm here. He rings me 10 minutes before and he's dropped off this. Also forgot my lunch, forgot my drink, bottle of drinks. I had to get something nasty from the vending machine. So my day's not gone very well so far. So we're about to find out whether it's going to get worse or not with this Nissan Note or not. Now I have to say it's not an encouraging start that the bonnet looks like it's been opened, because obviously I wasn't here to take delivery. Left it in my lockbox, the keys in my lockbox. I wasn't here to take delivery for it and the bonnet looks like it's been opened, so that's not a good start. In terms of the rest of it, I'm looking at the bodywork. The bodywork's really good. If we remember, this one we got knowing it had a ding in the side of it, but actually the rest of the bodywork looks really good actually. If it wasn't for that one ding down there, you'd only have a little scrape on the corner here. It's all round, winter tyres. That's indicating someone with decent ownership attitude, isn't it? On a car this value. The interior's looking clean. Looking very clean actually. Now remember, this one came from Motorline. So is the key fob working? Yes, key fob is working. And the interior is super clean. Considering it's this light colour, the handbrake needs a clean, but considering it's light colour, it's looking really clean. And we've got Nissan paperwork here. Look at the carpets. This is really clean. Do you think we'll luck out and it'll just be a flat battery and a ding on it? Excuse the recording on my phone because, like I said, I think in an earlier video I've damaged my GoPro. So have a quick look at what history we've got. I'll just have a quick look on my own, make sure I don't give any details out. Hey guys, check this out. Only two former keepers, so 3 keepers in total. Services 2010, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, the third 2023. And it had a new MOT on it as well, didn't it? Oh my goodness, maybe my day's getting a bit better, guys. Right, let's see what this whole, keyless. Let's see what this whole bonnet open thing is all about. It doesn't need a service for 12,000 miles. I think that's what it's saying there. Aircon started on. You'll notice the starter overruns on most of these little Nissans because the aircon starts 95,000 miles. Yeah, it starts with the aircon on. Well, it started on the button. Idling nicely. Let's close the bonnet and take a quick run round the block. We've got the auxiliary input, Bluetooth, aircon, so nice spec for one of these, electric front windows and electric back windows, electric mirrors. You know I do like a Note, this is looking positive. Let's have a look under the engine bay. Excuse us trimming, my buddy who comes and makes our little place look lovely is doing his work, and you know Chop's Garage, this is real life trading, so I don't have time to stop and record later on. Coolant levels where it needs to be. Engine bay looks honest. Got oil in there by the looks of it. Seems to be at the right level and nice and clean. Obviously I've just run it, so we'll need to recheck in later on, but that service has been done regularly. Gearbox is dry. Coolant level, like I said, is the right level. Everything that's promised here. Let's go for a little run. So did I accidentally buy something decent from BCA? Let's see. Clutch. About halfway. Engages smoothly, no juddering, anything like that. Let's run him over for making noises. Hopefully this was just a car that was part exchanged, because they found something new rather than it actually inherently have a problem, other than the ding in the wing. A ding in the side. That sounds like it's got reverse parking sensors. We didn't notice when we had a look round. I'm sure you did. I'm in a hurry as always. Right, let's change some gears. Up into third, seems all right. We'll have to take it for a road test, obviously check fourth and fifth. But initial signs are, it's all right. Do you know, our friend that needs a car at the moment quite badly, and she's looking at some terrible stuff. I'm half tempted to see if she'll just take this with the ding in it, because she's very limited budget wise. Because, mind you, this is a really good bit of stock, isn't it? Once that ding's done, it's a really good bit of stock, and even if I sell it to her at cost, I'll be on the hook for whatever goes wrong with it, won't I? Yeah, I think this needs to be retailed. This is going to be a banging car for someone. Absolutely banging car. Well, we got 3 purchases from BCA. The first one seems decent. Like I say, I've got to take it for a run. I've got to let it idle now for a bit and see if it overheats, so we'll let it run for a bit. But initial signs are, this could be a good little car. I'm so chuffed with that service history. They never specify full service history, they just say service history, so the fact that it's full is absolutely brilliant. So let's check these parking sensors out a second. Yeah, they're a bit excitable because I'm quite a fair way from the Jaguar and the Honda Note. This engine is super quiet. No, I'm a bit closer to the Jag than I thought it was. Now that engine is really smooth and quiet. Like I say, in terms of warranty claims, I'm going to drink myself now. The Nissan's Notes and the Nissan Micras, the 1.2 and the 1.4s in, have the lowest warranty rate. In fact, I don't think I've done any warranty claims on any of them. So we'll just quickly check the windows work. Seems like they're all working. Sorry if the video cuts a bit, my phone keeps deciding that it doesn't want to do more than like 30 seconds recording. And I will get around to checking the settings. All the electric windows work then. Stereo work.
On the dock of the...
Yeah, stereo works. Wow. How annoying is that little ding? If it wasn't for that little ding, I'd be able to get it straight up for sale, but I guess I wouldn't have won the car if it wasn't for the ding, would I? Anyway, that's made my mood a little bit better today, guys, even with a big bump on the back of my head. So we've got the Capri up on the lift. I'm doing a little video of the underside of it for when I put the car up for sale, because I know that's the first thing I'm going to get asked, is about the underside of the car. So I was told the underside is really good, and they hadn't wax oiled it or covered it in stuff because it was all original and they didn't want to hide anything, which seems to be 100% accurate. Lots of surface rust on bits and bobs like the subframes. All this could just be wire brushed down and tarted up, but in terms of how solid it is, the inside of all the sills is solid. There's no rot along those, and floor pans are all solid. So yeah, got a bit of an oil leak from the engine, but I guess that's to be expected at this age, isn't it? It's not hitting the ground, so it wouldn't be an MOT failure. It looks like something might even be coming from that oil filter there, or sump gasket possibly. Actually, just change the sump gasket. Nice thing with these is everything's easy to do, isn't it? So yeah, I'd be very tempted to go along, wire brush this down and coat it in wax oil, but I think the next person would think I was hiding something as well. So I think I'm best leaving it like that, get it up on the video. At least then it explains on the MOT why they were comments of surface rust, because you can see there's surface rust on stuff, but nothing structurally. Again, major benefit of having the lift. I've got the higher blocks now as well, so I can actually, you know, obviously if you use the lower blocks you can't see the sill because it's pretty much touching the base there, but these higher rubber blocks give me a bit more access to look along the inside of the sill. Obviously repairing the inside of a sill will be a pain, but I guess I could get it even higher again. but that wasn't what the lift was really for. It was for more taking wheels off and doing things like, you know, if I wanted to Schultz the underside of this, that'd be perfect. It's nice and stable. I've used the on the back. I've used the because you can pull these up and lock them into place on the back. I wanted a bit more, so I pulled the plates up and it's supported on the back there as well. So yeah, nice and stable. And I did test it plenty before I went under it because I was nervous. So Mikey's just been down and dropped off the Fiesta that he sourced for me, the automatic one. Before we brought it down for him, he did me a favour and got the cam belt done. So it's the little 1.4 automatic Fiesta on a 2059 plate, might be a 2010. He's done the cam belt for me, oil and filter change, and he's got the fluid in there for me to do the gearbox fluid change on it here. Put 2 new tyres on the back, because remember this came with a new MOT on it, but it left 2 advisories, which are the rear tyres, so it had a couple of rear tyres stuck on it for me as well. So it's all ready to go. All I need to do is the cosmetic stuff. Overall it looks all right. Like I say, remember this was a Cat N. Now to give you an idea of what a car could be written off for at this age, Cat N, I hate this phrase write-off, because it's not a write-off. And a lot of people don't know there is a category called Category B, which is a true write-off, which means the car's not allowed to be put back on the road. Category N and S actually specifically say within the description, deemed suitable for repair. So it's only a Cat B that gets written off completely. But this is what something can be written off for a Cat N. If you look at this bumper here, we've got a big old chunk out of it there. And we've got a crack down the bottom. A claim on this car through your insurance at the moment would probably be written off. The way things are, they're just writing them off for pretty much anything. That would probably be written off at the moment for that alone. So, and also don't forget the repair centres will then also go around the rest of the car and say that a ding back here, like there's a couple of dings back here, a lot of the time they'll say, oh, we'll pick those up at the same time. Like I think there's a little ding here. So they do tend to sort of ramp the bill up a little bit. But yeah, I mean, overall it seems tidy enough. We'll get that fixed on the front. We've got rear parking sensors. We've got reasonable mileage on it. I think it's 80,000 miles. He's just driven it all the way down from Wales. So I say he's left the cosmetics to me. I need to get it valeted, get the bumper done, that kind of thing. He's taken away the Astra with the slippy gearbox. We did a deal on that. So he's going to go away and get that fixed. Oh, what have we got in here? I don't know what spec it is. That's the big thing, isn't it? The auto box with the 1.4 engine. It'll be popular at the moment. Now remember, this is the seller who had it advertised. Hadn't mentioned at all that it was Cat, which they don't legally need to do as a private seller. Hadn't mentioned that at all. And it wasn't until we did the car vertical, where we were actually with the car, well, Mike was with the car, that we found out, and obviously had to negotiate accordingly. Starts up on the button. No warning lights. Obviously when the cam belt was done, all the cam locking tools are used, so it should be perfectly in time and running sweetly. And we're off. See how it changes. Yeah, nice smooth change to second there. Sorry about the buzzing, I should have put my seatbelt on. Suspension is all good. No knocks and bangs there. We'll go across some of the more potholey ground to check that for sure. But it's certainly changing nicely enough. Like I say, we'll probably do the fluid change anyway, because it'd just be nice, because I don't think it's got much service history to prove that lots has been done. Obviously did the oil and filter at the same time as doing the cam belt. But no, it seems like it should be a nice little car. I'm going to stop now so it stops binging at us. So, like I say, we will have to obviously say that it's category car when we advertise it. We'll have to advertise it as a Cat car. I do have a party interested. I'm thinking of we do have a party that's interested in it. Oh, I got the keys a bit sticky, or have I just done it wrong? Oh no, it's fine. We've only got the one key with it. Yeah, we've got an interested party in the car already, but obviously I'll have to get that bumper done that before they can come and have a look at it. So we will advertise it about 25-30% cheaper. I think it's still worth $3,995. Well, I know it's still worth $3,995. I think it's worth $3,995, 3.5 at the very, very lowest. But it depends how much more money you spend getting bits and bobs done on it. Without that damage on it, without it being on the register, this would be an easy 5k car in the current market, comfortably a 5k car maybe even a little bit more, maybe edging on towards the 6s the way prices are at the moment. So it'll be a cheap automatic. Like I say, I think it's already potentially sold unless that falls through, but like I say, we're just going to get the valet done. So we'll get the bumper off. Because I don't want to recolour and completely recolour a new bumper, I think I'll get the bumper off, fiberglass behind here, and then use some plastic filler to make that up. Although it is cracked across there as well, it might be easy to get another bumper, I don't know. We'll see once we've got it off. Ideally try and keep the original Ford bumper because it'll fit better, and the colour match, we won't have to paint the whole thing, so the colour match will be easier. But yeah, massive thanks to Mikey as always for sorting all that out for me and dropping it down. It's nice to have another little car in stock. We're building up a nice little stock of small cars, starting to rattle our way through them and get them retail prepped. I haven't actually fully advertised any of them yet because I want to get them all ready and then put up like 5 at once. I don't really know why, what the real logic behind that is, just something I want to do, I guess. Having gone for a longer drive in the Fiesta, I'm really happy with how it's driving, and because I've already got somebody potentially lined up, I'm going to jump straight on it. So I've whipped the bumper off. Pain in the backside taking the bumper off one of these. There's a bolt up here you can only get to if you take the headlight out, and then you've got very limited space, and I don't know, hopefully that'll stay in place when I put the bumper back on, because that's a pain in the bum. Some bumpers are easier to take off than others. As you can see, no crash damage to the chassis legs, they're all original. You can tell that straight away, nothing to the crash bar, so it is just going to be superficial panel, you know, plastic panel damage that's caused the cat end on it. As I'm going around, I'm not finding any outrageous, no zip ties, sealant and all the kind of dodgy stuff you tend to see in there. It's just it's all original fittings, so yeah, we just need to tidy that bumper up and get that back on again, give her a valet, and then she could be good to go, and I think she'll suit our customer perfectly. Little tip, if you're trying to get bumpers and that off without taking the wheels off, just use a jack to lift it up so you've got as much clearance above the wheel as you can. Makes life a little bit easier. So started fixing the bumper. I've gone round, plastic welded the cracks, will be fiberglass and behind those in a bit. On the front here, I obviously need to close off this gap here. Now if I just guessed how, because obviously this is wobbly, where it should be, I wouldn't have the right opening size for the headlight there. So what I've done is I've used a piece of card, sorry, covering the camera, I used a piece of card to make myself like a little template that fits in the hole there. Reverse that over and put it into here to make sure we've got a similar sort of fit. Now I know if I close off that gap there that I'm not making the hole too tight for the headlight to fit in later on, because otherwise it could be completely in the wrong place. So first up, the C4 is back from Moore's. It had its MOT. It's now got an advisory free MOT. It wasn't cheap. I had to do discs and pads on the back. Had to do front tyres. I forget what else it was. I have to wait to get the invoice from them. We have done a service on it. I had a problem, Phil had a problem because he had it on the lift and he was doing the MOT with it running. And I think I said when I first got the car that it was locking itself really quickly, but it's been getting faster and faster, and it actually locked itself with both sets of keys in it on Phil. How he got in there, I don't know. He hasn't told me. He's probably keeping that to himself. But thanks to a little short I did, you guys told me how to sort that out, which was put the key manually into the lock, hold it in there a few times, turning it on and off, which seems to have worked. So massive thanks everybody. That's brilliant. So that's ready to be valeted. And so a lot of other cars. Luckily we've got our buddy from Custom Valets in. He's hitting the Corsa that's had its MOT, so that can be ready up for sale. And then he's going to hit the C4, so we can get those two up for sale. Now the blue little Nissan Note we had in the last video, I think it was in the last video. I don't know if I've told, I'm getting a bit lost now. But anyway, wherever it was, the blue Nissan Note that came in, it had the full service history but the ding in the door. Well, that has sold to somebody who just wandered up a minute ago and was recommended me. And this idea of just stockpiling a load of small cars seems to have worked, because they just wandered through them all, looked through them all. I mean, obviously they're all non-prepped, so they're all looking at dirty cars, but they picked up the Nissan Note for the fact that it had the new tyres all round, the advisory free MOT and a full service history. Took it for a spin. They were tempted by this Mazda 2, which turned up on the BCA Transport, more of that in a moment, but they decided to go for the Nissan, which I'm pleased about, because they took it straight away. They wanted a discount for just having it with the ding in the door and the lack of peel on the front. It already, like I said, had the advisory free MOT on it already. It'd been serviced about 2 weeks before I picked it up, so it was ready to go for them, and they just took it away straight away. So my deal didn't even valid that one. While that was going on, the Maserati is gone. That's been traded out, so the showroom's looking a bit different. We've got the wheel trims down here for the i10. As normally, I spent way too much time restoring these because I wanted the originals back on, so they've all been sanded down and painted, ready to go back on. We've got the VW up in here now, which has been cleaned up. Like I said, I think I'm going to go with the bonnet as it is for the moment and see how we go, because as you can see, it's not outrageous. I think someone just preferred to have the discount, so we'll get that down, get that MOT'd and serviced, get that for sale. Massive thanks to Lee again for the wheels. Made a massive difference to the car, isn't it? So the i10 that we got from a subscriber a while ago, if you remember this one, we promised that we would not trade it out. It was one owner from new. It had the faded lacquer peeled front bumper, didn't it? The scraped up alloys on it, and the paint was a bit pinky as well. Well, we've machine polished it, or Brooke did for me. She also painted the wheels for me because she came and helped me out. She painted the wheels for me with a stone chip, which we always do before we put the wheel trims back on to tidy it up. She's valeted the inside for me. So we just need to get it down for an MOT now, and this one will be up for sale. As you see, she is looking mint. So I think we've done our subscriber well there. He said he wanted to see us bring it back to life. He had it from brand new, so hopefully this is as close to new as it was when he went and picked it up that day. Yeah, the Maserati, we traded out the Maserati. It was taking up loads and loads of space. It was never really going to be my kind of retailer. Believe it or not, we only made £500 on the Maserati, but we never did anything with it. We got a video out of it. We had a few drives of it. And as a very wise man once said to me, Theo, I don't know if you still watch the videos or not, he said to me, if you can make £500 on a car trading it without having to do anything to it, he said you should take the money over retailing it. So I took his advice and did that and freed up the space. I might well do the same thing with the S2000, because I really want to fill this room up with small cars. And again, it'll be a lot of hassle, I think, selling an S2000. So I might just trade that out, see where it goes, try that. What else has gone on? Oh yeah, so we've got the two cars coming from BC, which we're just going to have a look at. Just have a quick look in here and remind ourselves what's going on here again. We've moved the Jag and we'll get it down for its MOT. That'll go up for sale for $4,995 with the new MOT on it, the Jag. Remember, it's only done 57,000 miles, isn't it? The Capri's going up for $4,995. Bit of fun, not really making any money on that, but it was a bit of fun seeing it. We've done a video of the underside of it. I'll do a video of the inside, the rest of it, and put that together, post it. $4,995 for a Capri with a new MOT on it. This is solid as this is great. And then if you want to drop a couple of grand into a cheap paint job, you'll have a car that's probably getting on close 10k, haven't you? That's going to go down for an MOT now. The side skirts on the Swift, on the Smart, we're just waiting for the clips. I didn't realise I didn't have the clips for it. So Malcolm painted those for me, didn't we? We're going to put those on the car and then get that down for an MOT. So, oh, what else has happened as well? Loads going on. The caddy van has been traded out, so I'm not getting around to doing that. So again, I'm making some money on it and I'm not touching it. So I'll take the advice of those that have gone before me, but if you can do that, that's the best way to go forwards. And I've done the same thing with the V40. That's sold to somebody who's buying the caddy as well. One of our subscribers is a trader, messaged me on WhatsApp, said, James, you got anything you want to trade out? So suggested a few things to him. He went for the Volvo as well, because Mad Mike decided, I forget why he decided not to go with that one now. But anyway, so the gearbox was already ordered, so he's doing a deal where he's having it with the gearbox. Then the rest of these we've seen already, haven't we? So it's on to the two new ones. Oh, this one here. This is a beauty, this. Just pick this up. This is another example of the stories I tell you about part exchanges. So this one was part exchange, the main dealer. The guy did the deal before he saw the car, because he knew the person, I think, somehow. He did the deal before the car came in. It was a family, his friend's family member or something like that. I forget the exact details of it. Anyway, he was told the car was bang on. And to be fair, on the exterior, it looks absolutely fantastic for its age. It's in really good condition, a bit of a buff, and it'll be a nice car. But what is it with Astras? The back is absolutely lagged with dog hair and smells of dog really badly. So that's a major clean, but that isn't the problem. The problem is the The clutch on this is more slippery than a politician's flipping expenses claim. It is so bad. So bad, to the point where when I drove it home yesterday, it's done 100,000 miles. The rest of the interior is in really good condition. But to the point where I nearly didn't make it up a hill yesterday. It's slipping that badly. So my friend said, look, I haven't done well out of this deal. He said, so he offered it to me for a cheap price. Obviously, he was totally honest and said the clutch was bad. Now, normally when he tells me when a clutch is bad, what he normally means is, having driven new cars all the time, he's telling me that it bites high or it bites low. This is the first one where he's been, and he's normally a bit overcautious on it. This one, it just really, really does slip like nothing on earth. So we got it cheap, and it's going to be passed on. Probably again traded out. I don't know if I've got time to put a clutch in it, but it seems to be working, just stockpiling the cheap stuff. So we'll see what happens with it. Right, on to the two new arrivals. Now, those of you who saw the previous video will know that the Citroen C1, I missed that it had been twice catted as a Cat S, and that it also had a bad gearbox. Now, some interesting stuff straight away out the gate I'm seeing on it. Well, let's come back to that in a minute. Let's have a look at the Mazda first. Now, we like a Mazda 2, don't we? I've done a few Mazda 2s. I've never really had any problems with them, touch wood. For me, they're the best driving of the Super Minis. So the Hyundai i10 is, or the i20 is the most reliable, most bulletproof, best value for money. For if you like to drive and you like to have fun in your cars, but you want a car that's not costing a lot to run, the Mazda 2s are cracking, because that 1.3 twin cam is a revvy little beast. The chassis on these is really good, because I think it's based on a Fiesta as well, isn't it? But they handle really well. They're really nice looking cars. This obviously isn't the highest spec, because hasn't got colour coded mirrors. Door handles and mirrors aren't colour coded like they are on others. We've got wheel trims instead of alloys, but it's still quite a sporty car. We've got some stickers on the back here which indicate a younger owner. We need to try and get those off. We've got a ding on the rear wing here, which isn't outrageous. Again, this could be sold as a dinger as it is. Polish it up, touch that in, and leave those dents. It could be sold cheaply like that. So yeah, there was a scratch down here, but I think that'll polish or wet sand out, because when I wet it, it kind of disappears. So I don't think that's much of a problem. So the rest of the bodywork's really good. Wheel trims need a refurb, headlights need a refurb, but then it'll actually be looking really quite smart. Inside seems in good condition. It's a nice 5-door, so it's a bit more practical. Suit a bit more of a mix of people. The fabrics are really good. How's the boot? Literally, this was dropped off while I was doing the other deal, so you are learning as I'm learning on this one. It's a genuine drop off. Boot seems decent. We've got 2 keys for it. Only got a part service history. It's only got a part service history. It's had 3 previous owners. Let's see how she starts up. Only 53,000 miles. 1/3 of a tank of fuel. Turn that off. How does she start? Starts on the button. Quick clutch test. Clutch is biting about halfway. We'll just go for a few gears. I think this has got about 6 months MOT left on it, something like that. Steering doesn't feel good. Well, it's not bad, but it feels like it might need a trap rod end, possibly. Yeah, something like that. You can feel, as you turn the steering wheel, you can feel a bit of play, but it goes through the gears all right. You'll need a new MOT anyway. Well, initial quick test drive, it seems all right, other than, like I say, a bit of work on the steering. Might need a new steering, what do you call them? Knuckle bones at the end, or whatever you call dog bones. Might need those, possibly. Or it might just be a trap rod end. We shall see, I'm sure. Let's turn it off so we stop upsetting it. So let's say, yeah, only part service history. But again, like I say, it might be one just to sell as is. Just tidy up and not do the paint on the rear court, because it'll be a pain to match and it will start the sale of the vehicle. And as we know, there is a market for just buying them as they are. Managed to park a million miles away from the hedge, haven't I? But I'm going to rearrange everything. Right, onto the Citroen. So first initial look, let's look for the cat damage stuff. Panel gap there is, it's not far off being the same as that one. That's all the same there. It's not bad there. I mean, to be honest, I've never had one of these. These good panel gaps. Bumper's tight up to the corner there. And it pretty much is there as well, not massively out. In terms of shades of red, the bumper's a slightly different one, but that could have been due to the lacquer peel they all get. Now this bumper's out of whack at the back here. That's not sitting on its clip and it's loose. Again, doesn't necessarily mean that's where the damage was, because that's actually a closer colour matching paint than the other one. Bit out there as well. Initial signs are it may well have been something in the back. I can't see any difference in colour in the doors here that indicate paint. The paint is really good. Normally you can spot it on the paint, to be honest, but the paint is pretty good. It smells all right inside. So a quick look in the boot a second, see if we can see any signs of repair in the floor pan. Now we know these things leak like sieves anyway, don't we? So we could have water in here, which we have a little bit by the looks of it. There's actually a spare wheel in there. There's factory sealant all round the boot. It's either factory or it's been very well repaired. I would say that's factory. I can't see anybody else using that, so I don't think it's had a prang in the back. Let's just have a look. It might be a little bit. No, that's factory down there. There's a little gap. I can see a little gap, so it may well have had a very light prang low down the bottom there, I think. Quite possibly. We'll open up the bonnet and have a look there. Right, so let's see if we can see anything on the bonnet wise. Like I said to you in the previous video, with one of these tiny little cars, I think any prang is likely to be an S, because you damage the sill. There we have it. There we have it straight away, guys. This is what you're looking for. That, mind you, it could be factory. Let's have a look at the other side. It's the same both sides. There's a bit of paint peeling there. So that doesn't necessarily look factory. I can't remember or not. The taped off line there for overspray and the chip on the side of the paint might indicate that. Looking at the chassis leg is original factory. Can't see the other side, the battery's in the way. All this looks straight. That is factory. They're never sprayed along there. That's the original bolts. They're always like that. That all lines up nicely. I'm getting the feeling whatever it was light. Yeah, and I can't see any zip tied headlights. Oil's a nice colour. Ooh. Yeah, I can't see any zip tied headlights. They are original headlights as well. I don't see any aftermarket. I don't see any breakers chalk writing on anything. That's an original Citroen bonnet with the VIN number on it. I think wherever it's had, it could well have been in the sill rather than up there, but the paint looks good there. I think it's had a light frontal, and it's possibly just bent the tabs on the end of the chassis legs where the crash bar bolts on. I've seen that before. You have like 4 tabs with a crash bar bolts onto. They need to be bent slightly and it's categorised as S. But again, we know over COVID lots of stuff has been miscategorised as well, hasn't it? So I've seen cat cars before where everything's zip tied together and the paint oversprays everywhere and the colour's massively out. I'm not seeing any of that on this at all. So that's indicating to me that it's been done at least to a decent standard. Why this is all hanging off the back here, I don't know. Perhaps the second accident was in the back, low down. But like I say, we're seeing the factory sealant in the boot there. Right, let's find out about the running of it, because we know this was sold to us as having some problems, don't we? Now the first good sign is the guy was actually able to drive this off the BCA truck, and it was on a high level with quite a steep ramp on it. Right, so 89,440 miles. Let's hear what it sounds like. That engine sounds absolutely fine, guys. It sounds like every C1 I've ever had. Now the guy did say when he moved it first that there was a squealing belt. Now this being chain driven would indicate that would be the alternator belt. So it could be it's got a grumbly water pump, which is external and easily changed out. It could be it's got a bad auxiliary belt. But as I said to you guys when I first won the car, that although they'd noted the engine as noisy, it didn't worry me too much, because these little 3 cylinders sound like a bag of spanners at the best of time. What I would say though is I don't know if the gearbox is bad or if the clutch is bad, because I can get gears and the gearbox is working fine now I'm on the move. So actually I think it might be the clutch that's bad, and if it is just the clutch, that's not so bad. Could just be a slave, because it was just initially hard to engage, so it could be that the slave cylinder's bad rather than the clutch. Let's have a... oh. No, I don't want to go into reverse, but that is hard to get a few of the gears. I think it's the clutch, not the gearbox. I think we just need to put a clutch in it. Well, I am actually quite pleased with that. Oh, shut up. Let's start again in a second. Yeah, look, with the engine off, I can get reverse gear, no problem at all. If I start the car with it in reverse, I can reverse it out fine. I think we've got a clutch problem. So, I'm actually quite pleased with that, because if we put a clutch in it, and that's all we need to do other than the service, I forget what the MOT is on it. We might need to do an MOT, mightn't we? So a quick look here and see what this is all about. Don't want to show it on there. Had a service October last year. So actually it isn't even due a service until October. So actually all we need to do is give it a good clean up, get the bumper fitted right at the back there, put a new clutch in it, which is one we could do here on the ramp. It's a very easy one to get out box wise, this. I think we could have a tidy little car actually, and it'll be cheap. So my punt on the engine actually being all right was, it was a total punt, but it seems to have paid off. So anyway, I might be speaking too soon, so you'll need to tune in for the next video to find out and see if I'm right or not on the clutch on that. See how we get on with all these other projects. As always, massive thanks for watching the channel. Really appreciated. All your support is appreciated. All of you messaging me offering your cars, as always, massively appreciated. Remember, you can do that via Instagram or via email. So yeah, thanks for offering your vehicles. That really does help as well. So like I said, as always, massive thanks. See you again on the next one.